Hey guys, welcome back. In this particular video, we will talk about check and its type. Okay. In our last video, we talk about negotiable instrument. I hope you watched that video. Okay. So, where we generally discuss what is negotiable instruments, and we talk about Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 and important sections under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Okay, so here now we will talk about check and it's a type like self check, bearer check, stale check, antedated, post dated, mutilated, or travelers, or cancel check, and other. Okay, so I hope you heard about these particular thing. And along with this, we also will also talk about the IFSC, MICR code, or the CTS check truncation system and all. Okay, we will start with a basic introduction of check. So what is check? So I hope you know about this one. So whenever we talk about check, so check is a negotiable instrument. Okay, so check is a negotiable instrument followed by Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, and it is defined under Section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Okay, so it's a written document, it's a legal paper, basically, we can say. And whenever any party who issue this check, they cannot make default against this. Okay, so if any party who make default, so we have some legal provisions, which is also known as dishonor of check, and which is defined under section 138 of Negotiable Instrument Act. Okay, here we have a basic definition of check. So a check is a document that order a bank to pay a specific amount of money from a person's account to the person in whose name the check has been written. Okay, like let's say you issued a check to me. So like you are giving order to your bank कि you have to pay this much of money to my account. Okay, so check is basically a negotiable instrument which is negotiating or which is replacing the cash, or which is representing the cash. Okay, and it is followed by Negotiable Instrument Act. So it's a legal document. Okay, and it is defined under Section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. We have three parties on check. Okay, so first one is issuer of check, basically who issue that particular document. Okay, let's say you issue a document, you issue a check to me, so you will be known as drawer. Drawee is always bank. Okay, so let's say your checkbook belongs to State Bank of India or in whatever the bank is. So drawee will be bank. So you are passing an order to your bank, which is State Bank of India, to pay this amount to my account. Okay, or pay is receiver. So here we mentioned to pay Mr. Singh or whatever the name is. Okay, so we have three parties on check. One is drawer, issuer of check, drawee, bank, and pay is a receiver of that particular value, money or check. Do remember these things. Okay, sometimes these particular points become tricky. Now we'll talk about CTS. So CTS, which is stand for check truncation system. So it is basically an image based clearing system. So previously it was introduced in 2010. Okay, so prior 2010 we usually work on non-CTS system. So where basically check was cleared on a physical basis. That means, let's say you belongs to Delhi. Let's say you belongs to Delhi and you have an account in Delhi with some XYZ Bank Limited. Okay, now you went Mumbai. Okay, you went Mumbai and you working here. So you rented an apartment with in Mumbai. So now, like while the payments, you issued some PDC, that is post dated check to your landlord. Okay, so now as the date come, so your landlord will deposit that particular check in their local branch, which is in Mumbai. Okay, then Mumbai Bank, this Mumbai ABC Bank will previously during the non-CTS system. So this ABC Bank that generally courier this check to your Delhi branch in XYZ Bank. Okay, so XYZ Bank in Delhi. Okay, So now XYZ will go through your detail. He'll check the credential and all. Then they'll send it to the clearing house. Okay. So this was a very time-taking process. Okay. So now after this 2010 CTS system, so we use image-based clearing system. Let's say case is same. You belongs to Delhi and you live in Mumbai. So you presented check to your landlord. So while this landlord will deposit this check with ABC, so he'll send a ABC will basically send a image form of your check to the clearing house. They'll match the detail, and if everything is fine, they'll clear that particular check. So now this the clearing of check become quite easier, or we can say faster as well. And it is like we can say now the clearance that happen on daily basis. So previously it took time around 2 days, 3 days and all. So this is the basic benefit of CTS. Apart from this, we have a few updates on CTS as well. Like you'll find the bank logo on your checkbook. Okay, previously it was not available. Second one is there is a void photographs as well. And third one is this check price details. Okay, third one check printer details, sorry, CTS 2010 and all this detail. And fourth one is rupee sign is there. And fifth one is where you have to sign, the drawer have to sign. So please sign above. So this is mentioned in CTS. So this we change the format of this check, and as well as it gave you more benefit toward the clearings and all. So it is generally known as image based clearing system. Why it is known as an image based clearing system, I hope you now get it. So it was introduced in 2010 and it was recommended by the then Deputy Governor of RBI, Dr. R.B. Burman. Okay, so these are the benefit, like this logo, this image, void image, like we have signature as well here. So this is not a full so please sign above this sign. And the rupee one as well. So here there is a rupee mark as well. So these are generally new things which is generally introduced during the CTS system, and even these things are generally input for the clearance as well. Okay, so CTS check clearance happen on daily basis, and if you have a non-CTS check, so if you send it for clearance, so it is generally like it happen clearance, or the clearance for non-CTS is generally thrice in a week, in every 2 days. Okay, but for CTS it is they can be clear any time, or they generally clear on regular basis. Okay, so I hope you get the basic idea about CTS as well. Now we'll talk about types of check. Okay, let me tell me. So you just imagine how many types of check you know. Okay, so I hope you heard about the bearer check, self check, order check, or traveler's check, mutilated check, or antedated, post dated, stale check. Okay, so there are so many types of checks which are available in the market, or bank they generally provide these particular facilities to their customers. Okay, so as per their uses, so we have different type of check. Even if you know something else, so you can also mention in comment section. Okay, let's just start with the first type. So that is bearer check. So bearer is like these are encashed over the counter. Okay, so let's say like these are, we can say the holder is the owner of these particular check. Okay, so it is kind of self check. So let's say you have to make a payment of 10,000 rupees to any party. Okay, so you mention the party name is XYZ, and you give 10,000 rupees and you sign this. And now this XYZ will go to a bank and they'll deposit this particular check with the cashier. And over the counter, the cashier will give 10,000 rupees to this Mr. XYZ. Okay, so this is the benefit. Usually what happens, when you present check to the bank, you drop it into the drop box. Then after 1 day or 2 day, the amount is generally credited in your bank account. But here, this is similar to your self check. In self check, you are only withdrawing that particular money. In bearer check, anybody who own that who hold that particular check, they can withdraw the money. Okay, so this is the basic difference. Otherwise, everything is fine. Okay, so a check which is payable to any person who presented for payment at the bank is known as bearer check. It is also called cash on counter. Okay, so I hope you get the bearer check and the difference between bearer and self. So in case of self, it is given to the owner of that particular account only. In case of bearer, anyone who hold that particular thing, so they can withdraw. Now self check, you know this one. So a self check is drawn when the drawer wishes to withdraw money from the bank in cash for his uses. This check can be used be in cash in the account holders or drawers banks. Okay, so let's say if you have to withdraw money from your account, so you can, like, you do not need to fulfill the form and all. You just present the self check and they'll give you that particular money. Okay, so that is generally known as self check. Now order check or cross check. So this is the crossing. Okay, so cross check, whenever we talk about the cross check, so this is the crossing. So a double cross, left side upper side, okay, left upper side of the check. I hope so many times you have seen this particular one. Okay, so order means here a name is mentioned, Rahul Sharma. So this will credited to Rahul Sharma's account only and his account number only. Okay, so it cannot transfer to any other person. So there is, like in case of bearer checks, check, there is a high risk involved. If you miss that particular one, someone other can withdraw that particular money. But in case of order check, no one else can withdraw that particular money. So it is like the drawer is generally giving an order to pay. You have to pay this much of amount to this Rahul Sharma or the XYZ person. An order check is a check where only the person or party in whose name the check has been drawn can withdraw the cash on which is payable to a particular person or account. So it is not like these cannot withdrawn over the counter. So let's say if you have a check or this Rahul Sharma, so you issued a check to Rahul Sharma, so he'll deposit that particular check in Dropbox, and after 1 day or 2 day, the amount will credited in Rahul Sharma's account. So this is order. So the drawer is generally giving an order to the bank, the payee, the drawee. So you have to pay this much of amount to this XYZ payee. Okay. Now stale check. So validity of checks in India is 90 days now. Okay. So checks are generally valid for 90 days. Okay. Let's say this is a check and this is the date column. So there is a the date mentioned on this particular check is, suppose that first August 2022. Now if you'll count from August 2022 to present date is, so if you talk about the present date, it is 3rd of March 2023. So if you'll present this particular check in the system in the banks, so they'll disown this particular one because it is invalid. Okay, so the validity of this particular check has been expired. Okay, so checks are generally valid for 90 days only. Do remember this one. Okay, so if this is generally known as, this check type is generally known as, or this is a case of stale check. While bank will disapprove that particular check or disown that particular check, they'll mention this is a case of stale check because it is like the validity or the date mentioned on the check is or the present date, the difference is more than 90 days. Okay, so a check presented at the paying bank after 90 days or 3 months is generally known as stale check. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now mutilated check. So I hope you heard about the mutilated notes. So similarly mutilated check as well. So if any check is torn into 2 or more pieces, so this is your check. If it is torn into 2 or more pieces, so this is known as mutilated check, as you can see here as well. Okay, so mutilated means if a check or check is a paper, so if it is torn into 2 3 more, or if it is divided into 4 5 pieces, so that is generally known as mutilated check. So if check torn into 2 or more pieces, such check is generally known as mutilated check. Next one, antedated and postdated. So how you'll remember antedated and postdated? You just remember like prepaid and postpaid. Okay, so you use prepaid SIM or postpaid SIM. So in case of prepaid SIM, first you pay, then you take the benefit, and in case of postpaid, first you take benefit, then you pay. Similarly, the case is date, so you have to consider this date. Okay, so in case of prepaid, so let's say today is 3rd of March. Okay, so if you hold a check, and this particular check, the date on this particular check is 1st February 2023. Okay, so this check will considered as prepaid. Okay, anti-dated check. So here, like the day when you present that particular date, and the date mentioned on this check is the earlier date. Postpaid is, so what is the case of postpaid? So if like today is 3rd March, if the date mentioned on this one is, suppose that 10th of April 2023. Okay, so it is generally known as postpaid. So a future date mentioned on this particular one, so you can present this particular check in bank as on 10th of April or after 10th of April till 90 days. Okay, so if a check bear a date earlier than the date on which it is presented to the bank, is known as antedated. Post-dated is if a check is bear a future date, then it is known as post-dated. Now, antedated, we do not have any uses. Okay, so what is the difference between antedated and stale check? Stale check, if this date is more than 90 days, so it is the validity of this date is only for 90 days. So you have to present this particular check before 90 days. Otherwise, it will categorize as the stale check. But now 1st February to till 3rd March, it is 1 month, 2 days only. So it is valid because it is not beyond 90 days. Okay, so it will call antedated. Post dated, future date is like future date can be like after 2 months, after 6 months, after 1 year. So these are generally used for security purpose. Okay, so after 1 year he'll present that particular one, or like after 1 year within 90 days he'll present that particular documents. Okay, so that is generally known as your future date. I hope you get these particular thing clearly. Now how you'll remember all the type of checks? So here is a tricks as well. So bearer equal to self. So self, I hope you remember this one. Order, account pay, there is two signs. So it is an order to pay a sum of money to a specific person. Okay, non-transferable, this is transferable. Antedated, prepaid. Post-dated, postpaid. And stale check, invalid, outdated. So it means 90 days or more than 90 days, which is categorized as invalid check. So it is stale check, outdated check. Mutilated is torn. So do remember the synonyms. These are kind of synonyms for checks. So if you remember these particular one, you'll easily remember the checks and their different types as well. Okay, so hope you get these particular things clearly. So here till now we talk about checks and their different types and all. If you liking the video, please do like and do share with your friends. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. Now we'll talk about IFSC, Indian Financial System Code. I hope so many times you heard about this one. So if you'll see your check, so there is a bank address, and here you will find IFSC code, and here you will find MICR code. So first we'll talk about IFSC code, Indian Financial System Code. It is an 11 digit alphanumeric code. Okay, so 11 digit alphanumeric code, first 4 digit. So let's say I give you a case of Punjab National Bank, PUNB. So first 4 digit that generally represent to bank name. Okay, so the coding on these particular one is first 4 digit they represent to bank name. Okay, so bank name. So like if it is SBI, it will be SBIN. Okay, so if it is Axis Bank, it will be UTIB, because previously it was UTI, Unit Trust of India. So first 4 digit. Fifth one is always 0. So fifth one is special character. It is generally known as special character. Okay, so 0. Fifth one always you'll find 0. And last 6 digit, last 6, they represent to bank branch code. Okay, so they generally represent to branch code. Okay, so these are like, it can be 0 0 0 0 1 7. Okay, so it becomes 7 number, 6 number. So 4 2 6. Okay, so like if you'll see the IFSC code for ICICI Bank, let's say it is ICIC 1 2 3 4 4 times 0 special character plus 3 172. So this is IFSC code for ICICI Bank. This is my code, that's why I remember this one. Okay, so ICIC, fifth one is 0, and this is the branch code. Okay, so similarly for other one as well. So for the identification purpose, we generally need IFSC code. Okay, so whenever you like IFSC code is mandatory while doing the NEFT transaction, NEFT, or the RTGS transaction. What is NEFT, RTGS? We already covered. Okay, so whenever you do NEFT, RTGS, or whenever you add a new pay in your banking system, so bank that generally asks for the IFSC for verification purpose. Okay, so after entering the IFSC code, so they generally verify the name, account number, and other detail as well. Okay. Another one is MICR code. So this is your MICR code. This is check number, and this is MICR code. Okay. So MICR code, it is a 9-digit numeric code. Okay. So it's a 9-digit numeric code where first 3 digit that generally represent to a bank code. So first 3 is bank code. Second 3 is a bank branch code, and third 3 that generally represent to a city code. Okay, so this is generally used for the clearing purpose. So whenever any check go for the clearing, so that scanner machine, they generally use this MICR code for the record keeping about that particular check. Okay, let's say if you have to, like bank, they have to maintain any banking transaction record for, at least for 5 years. Okay, so whatever transaction you do in your account, so bank generally maintain that record for 5 years. Okay, so if there is any transaction, if you want to recheck that particular one, so with the help of MICR, bank will access that particular point, and even during the clearing process, we generally manage record, or we generally maintain record on the basis of MICR. Okay, so guys, in this video we talk about check and different type of check. I hope you get these particular thing clearly. If you have still have any query related to check, please do mention in comment section, so I'll get back to you. Okay, and in our next video, as I already told you, we'll discuss promissory note. Okay, and the different type of promissory note, like personal, commercial, real, investments, and all. Okay, then next video we'll talk about bill of exchange. So we'll first cover these all negotiable instruments one by one. So hope you enjoy the video. If you like, please do share this particular session with your friends, so other can also watch my videos. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, and tell your friends to subscribe the channel, so we can increase our reach. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you soon with a new video which will be on this promissory note as well as bill of exchange. So till that time, bye bye, take care all, have a nice day, and thank you for the watching this session, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.